Welcome back to the All Things Nerd podcast. We are your hosts. I am Chad.
And I am Jake.
This week we are sponsored by Crybaby Craig's Hot Sauce.
And we are also sponsored by Ray's Energy Drinks.
This week we're going to be talking about Eternals, which released on, I guess technically, Thursday night at like whatever time, but this weekend. So
yeah, this past weekend, yeah. We'll also be going over some upcoming releases, as well as some news, some trailers, all that. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. This is the All Things Nerd podcast. Nerd.
Welcome back, nerds, to the All Things Nerd podcast, your weekly dive into all things nerd. Yeah. So, Chad, how's your week been, my guy?
Well, my dude, it's been a pretty good week. My birthday was last Wednesday.
Yeah.
Which was, I'm 31, so it was not an eventful birthday. But it was nice. My mom came into town to, celebrate my birthday, which is cool. I haven't seen her in 9 months, 8 months.
Yeah. No, it was sooner than that.
We saw her you're right. August. We saw her for your birthday over lunch. You're right. But that was just 2 hours. But
it's also your father's birthday today.
Yeah, while we're recording, it is his birthday today. So by the time you guys are hearing it, our listeners, it will have been a couple of days ago. But yeah, it's my dad's birthday today.
Shout out Randall. Happy birthday.
What up, Randall? But yeah. So that was, it was cool. Yeah. My mom is on the keto diet. So she's also very aware of restaurants that we can and can't go to eat. So that was nice to, have a second person in my corner being like, hey, you can eat here, but you should not eat here.
Yeah.
And try new restaurants and stuff like that.
Cool.
But for for lunch on my birthday, we went back to Fatheads. Well, not back. Well, it was back for me, but not for her. Fatheads Brewery. When you were out here, that's where we went.
Yeah.
Had this incredible, just mushroom sandwich. Just absolutely bomb.
Dope.
But yeah, it snowed out here in Stupido. It's gone now, but it snowed for several hours on my birthday of all days. How lame is that shit?
Nature's birthday present to you.
Yeah, it's neat. Hey Chad, you're turning an insignificant age. Let me just spread white moisture all over the world for you. That's what it felt like.
You're used to white moisture being spread all over you.
Fucking end you. So not cool, bro.
Sorry,
not cool.
Sorry, Tracy.
I'm sorry, Mom, for Jake's behavior.
Fuck. Well, we both saw the big movie this weekend. We'll get into it in a little bit, but we
already hinted at it. We can say what movie it was. We did go see Eternals, which was But then some.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in a little bit.
Yeah, we'll get to
it. I switched days at work, so now I have Sunday, Mondays off instead of Sunday, Thursdays off, which is nice because now I can get drunk tonight and not have to work and be miserable the next day.
Yeah, you actually have a real weekend now. 2 days in a row, which is it's great.
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna go. I am gonna go tomorrow. I think I'm gonna go see Bond.
Are you gonna go?
I haven't seen the new Bond yet.
Are you gonna go
really bad. I'm gonna go.
You're gonna go. Okay.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
It's like a 3-hour long movie.
Yeah, but
Well, yeah,
like,
I actually kind of
that's
miss
cool.
doing it. I used to, when I was single, I used to love going to movies by myself. I would treat yourself to
Treat
to like
yourself.
lunch and a beer or two, and then go check out a movie. It was cool, and I haven't done it in
It's so great.
years. I haven't done it in years, so I think, yeah, I'm gonna go grab like a bite and a beer tomorrow and go check out Bond by myself. It'll be great.
That sounds so great.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have
Should
to
be.
follow suit on my day off, which will a few days later. But
Yeah,
whatever.
but then we could talk about Bond for
Yeah.
next episode.
So we'll
Yeah.
probably talk about Bond next episode. So you guys
We'll
have
talk
time.
about Bond.
Y'all got some time to go see them there new Bond movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you should, because they've all been fantastic so far. And this is kind of the conclusion. So
yeah, just send off to Daniel Craig as Bond. Yeah. So it should be good. Also, you, based on social media, you made some, for most of our listeners are not under our age, but some good soup.
If you will. My soup, yes.
His soup.
We'll talk about, we'll continue to talk about our vegan meals that we make on this. Yes, me and the girlfriend made a vegan wild rice soup. It
looks so good.
Oh it was fucking fantastic. And the trick is, which I didn't know this until I Googled it, because, you use coconut milk instead of making like a creamy dairy filled sauce. You use coconut milk instead.
It's called a roux, but yeah.
Yeah. It was really good. We made a vegetarian sandwich to go with it. It was fantastic. Yeah.
It looked super good.
Yeah.
I'm excited to try it once you actually send me.
We
talked about it.
I'll send you the fucking recipe.
We talked about it. I'm not worried about it. I just have not received the recipe
I didn't know you wanted it like right this second.
I don't want it right this second. We're recording. All you guys are listening to this secondhand. If you follow us on Instagram or YouTube, comment, did Chad get the recipe yet? I will let you know if I have.
I'll let you know right now he didn't.
Yeah, he's going to forget very quickly.
Anyways, we want to spend a lot of time breaking down the Eternals movie. We're going to fly through some other stuff that we know about coming up. So we're going to get into our sponsor one. And
so our first sponsor, our main sponsor, flagship sponsor, whatever you want to call it, is Raise Energy Drinks by Rep Sports. It's a fantastic energy drink with 0 calories, zero sugar, 0 crash. But they have so much more than energy drinks. Pre-workout, protein-packed desserts, keto-friendly stuff. Just check it out. Listen up. Learn how to save 15% site-wide. And we'll be right back with you to talk about some nerd news and upcoming releases. We'll be right back with y'all. What's up, nerds? I wanted to take a minute and talk to you about Raise Energy, an incredible energy drink that provides max energy with 0 crash. Raise Energy takes a giant leap of faith with instilling a high-quality formula to bring a powerful, yet sustained, energetic experience to help you push your workouts and focus to the next level. Perfect for anyone at any time, and powered by their refresh formula technology, Raise Energy delivers a performance-enhancing energy drink that aids in multiple different categories that include targeted focus, better recovery time, improved clean energy levels, and a boost in stamina and hydration. But most importantly, every can of Raise Energy has absolutely 0 calories, 0 sugar, and 0 carbohydrates to give you a smarter and healthier option. So don't settle for an energy drink that contains more sugar and carbohydrates than you can count. Instead, head over to repsports.com. That's REPPSPORTS.com and use the promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout for 15% off your order. Or if you don't know what you want, go ahead and click the link that's in the description to get a $50 sample pack for free. All you do is you cover the cost of shipping. Again, make sure you use promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout to let them know that we sent you.
All right, guys, we're gonna talk about some upcoming stuff that we are aware of. I'm sure all of you are aware of it too. I want to start it off with tonight is the Resurrection of Dexter. If you guys haven't watched Dexter, spoiler alert, it's about a serial killer who is a forensic analyst for the Miami Police Department. And he kills other serial killers and investigates the other serial killers' murders so that he can find them before the police department does, and then he serial kills them. The show got canceled a long time ago, and it has been resurrected, and the first episode is tonight, which is
November 7th. So
November
by the
7th.
time you guys hear this, it'll have been a couple of days.
Yeah.
But
so I hope you guys are watching because I'm super stoked about this. I loved that show.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go through and binge this, which I started to watch it back in the day. Didn't really get into it, but I'm going to give it another shot, go through it, and then I'm sure we'll talk about it like here and there.
Yeah.
With like big moments. We probably won't do like a week to week, but it looks good. And it's Michael C. Hall.
Yeah.
Is the Dexter. The Dexter. Looks great.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited about it. So like,
and
we'll talk about it here and there moving forward, but this looks so good.
Just kind of again, spoiler alert. Something I really like about this is that if you watched Dexter in the past, you know that he had a moral code. He called it Harry's code. Harry was his dad who found him, not actually his dad, but it was the guy who raised him, who died. And the premise of this is basically that this guy was a cop. Harry was a cop. And he recognized in Dexter while raising him that Dexter was going to become a serial killer. So he started training Dexter to not only cover his tracks, but also to only kill other bad people. That way, Dexter, he called it Harry's Code. In the previous series, Dexter and Harry part ways. Harry kind of is more like a conscience, Dexter's conscience. And at the end of the series, that when they ended it, Dexter's sister, Deb, sorry, Chad, she dies.
I already know this. It's fine.
Yeah. And they show her in the preview for the new season coming up. And I am assuming and hoping that she is now going to take over as Dexter's conscience. I think it's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be awesome to see how they take it because, I mean, she's in the trailer. So, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. She died. I mean, he dumped her body into the ocean before he drove his boat into a hurricane. So she's like dead.
Like
DED dead.
Like OMG dead. Like so dead.
Yeah. She's
like
real
so
dead.
So
I can only imagine she's his new conscience going forward.
Or a ghost. She could just be haunting him too. But we'll find out.
That's kind of how Harry worked. It was like a ghost. It was like
he was just gonna ruin all of Dexter for me. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. That's cool. All right.
You don't like fucking watch your shit, man. We do a nerd podcast and you haven't watched half the nerd shit that we need to watch.
Well, that's super inaccurate. First off,
horror movies.
we've talked about one horror movie on the show in 40 weeks.
Because you haven't watched any of them.
Well, guys, I quit. Just so that you know. Moving forward, it's just going to be Jake. Good luck.
Editing is going to be shit.
I'll teach him how to do basic stuff. It'll be a slight drop in quality, but
oh my god. Anyways, moving on. We got to move on.
Also, Hawkeye comes out in a few weeks at the end of November. It's going to be great. Even though based on the trailers, I'm excited for the show, but the trailers make it seem like it's going to be a little campy.
And like what they've Christmassy, and I hate Christmas.
Yeah. But also, they've also kind of just done Hawkeye, Clint Barton, Jeremy Renner, however you want to identify him in the MCU. They've kind of done him a little dirty. He's just not as great in the MCU.
Really?
They've made comments of oh, he's the one holding the team together, and then there's nothing to support it other than the fact that he's there. But
I disagree.
Kate Bishop is
disrespectfully, I disagree.
Wow. Okay. Cool. So we're just gonna fight about this right here. That's fine. We don't have to talk about the Spoder guy or.
No.
More be us.
Keep moving on.
I just feel like that they haven't done Hawkeye justice, other than the fact that
he's dismantled fucking Iron Man. He dismantled.
That was Ant-Man that dismantled him technically.
No,
which they did.
I'm talking about I guess technically it was Scarlet Witch, but when he's like, bam, and he's like, you missed, and he goes, whatever, and he goes, made you look, and then bam, 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 and Iron Man gets taken out.
Yeah, that happens too.
He, him and Scarlet Witch again.
Oh, weird. It's like a theme.
Took out Vision. He's beaten. Oh my god.
He's been a very sideline character.
Yeah. He's human with no powers.
But that's why I'm so excited about the show, because Hawkeye is awesome.
Yeah.
Kate Bishop is awesome.
Ooh.
But based on the trailer, at least, it's they're just continuing with him as kind of being the lovable idiot that just is a really good archer with perfect aim. Yeah. It's no, he's so much more than that.
Yeah.
And Kate Bishop is just the fucking shit.
Do you know, we may have talked about this, and I'm sorry if we did. Do you know who was originally supposed to play Hawkeye, but he turned it down?
I don't think so.
Jensen Ackles, Supernatural.
Oh.
He had to turn it down for Supernatural, complications, scheduling, but that's who the goal was.
No, not because he turned it down, but just the fact that I don't think Jensen Ackles could have done it. I love Jeremy Renner. Don't get me wrong.
I love Jeremy Renner too, yeah.
And I think that Jensen Ackles has a bigger role to play in the MCU.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
So I think it worked out right.
I should hate Jensen Ackles.
Why?
Because
he's the one man that your girlfriend would leave you for?
Leave me for is a delicate way to put it.
Sorry, Nick.
Yeah. He is. Yeah. I didn't even know about it. I went out to lunch with her and her friend, Christina, and it came up. I don't know why. I don't remember. And Christina was like, oh, yeah. Oh, my God. That's Nicole's fucking guy. And I was just like, Jensen?
What?
I get it.
Yeah.
He's a good-looking guy. He's got a deep voice, but he's 5'3", So
yeah, I mean, he's Tom Cruise height. So give him the 3 inches, like 5'6", you know.
I'm just being a jerk because I'm jealous. But anyways,
more like insecure, but it's cool.
I should hate him, but I actually love Jensen Ackles.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't wait to see now that his contract with Supernatural is finally over 15 fucking seasons later. He's blown up. He's in the movie Rust coming out. He's in The Boys coming out. He's also...
We want him to be Wolverine.
Oh, yeah, we want him to be
That's
Wolverine.
a fan casting.
I was like,
we'll
he's
touch
going to be
base
Wolverine? Yeah.
Well, while we're there, we've kind of been throwing these out on our Instagram page. But who would you guys like to see play the X-Men moving forward?
Yeah. Chad and I both agree that we think Jensen Ackles, because he's short, would make
That's for you, Nick. Just remember, Jake is taller.
He's shorter than Hugh Jackman, who, you know...
his height starts with a 5.
And he's got a deep voice, and he can grow an amazing beard. I think he would make an amazing Wolverine. And he beefed up for The Boys, so he's like pretty stocky, you know, short and stocky, you know, whatever.
And who was it that you thought would be a great rogue? I can't. It's Alexandra
Daddario. Yeah, I think, especially with her eyes, because she's got those like pale blue eyes. She would make an awesome rogue, I think.
The jury's still out between us, at least, for like a good Gambit. A few years ago, we had, if we could go back in time, we had a good Gambit in mind, just like everyone else in the world. Yeah.
Channing Tatum. He was supposed to be Gambit, but then the Fox sold the rights to Marvel, and Marvel was like, nah.
I would still like to see him. I could see him doing it really well.
I could see him doing he does have that kind of a accent a little bit.
Well, he's from Louisiana. Yeah. He's got that Bayou natural
but he's also
accent.
like 40-something at this
That's
point in his life.
That's the thing, is he's a little bit older.
And I want a younger cast. I just don't see it.
So with that, also like for Jubilee, I would love to see Diane, I think it's Doan.
Oh, I saw the post you put on Instagram.
For those of you that don't know, she was Mai Ling in Warrior. She's also Korra. I think it's Korra or Coral. Not Coral. But in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the last season, I think it's Korra. As well as Timothée Chalamet as like Nightcrawler. Chances are like none of these are going to happen, but like it would be great to see them because like they fit the bill so well.
Chalamet would be awesome, but I know for a fact that we talked about this a little bit off camera, that he said that, and he would never say who told him, but for like success as an actor, he said that the best advice he's ever been given is do not do superhero movies.
Scorsese.
So I don't think we'll ever see.
Scorsese's just bitter because like superhero movies just do really well, and he has to use the same like 5 actors.
Yeah.
Over and over. Don't get me wrong. I love Scorsese films, but like you can't talk about like, oh, you're just taking away from like the original concept of like great cinema when he uses the same 5 actors over and over again.
Just do better, dude.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong. I love Leo. DiCaprio is great. Margot Robbie's great. Al Pacino's great. De Niro's great. But like over and over and over again, like if you keep recycling the same actors over and over and over again, people are going to think that you're Woody Harrelson. And no, not Woody Harrelson. Sorry. Oh my God. Woody Allen. That was a complete fuck up on my part. But like, don't talk shit if you're going to use the same actors over and over again. Like, like, how is that great cinema? Scorsese. if you use the same people over and over again in different roles.
Yeah.
Like, check yourself.
Before you riggedy wreck yourself.
Wreck-It Ralph yourself. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. Because, Disney.
Yeah. Moving on. We're going to move on.
Are we going to talk about if we're ever going to see a second Spider-Man trailer or Morbius?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, we can talk...
No.
Are we going to see a second Spider-Man trailer?
I skipped the line. My bad.
No, that's fine. We sidetracked ourselves.
The fucking movie comes out next month. I really thought that we were going to see a Spider-Man trailer for Eternals. I was really, really betting on it.
And so was I. And then it never happened, and I got sad.
So I don't... There's nothing between now and then that would be like a big release for a Spider-Man. I don't think we're going to get another trailer for Spider-Man.
I think it's because there's so many like big reveals that have kind of been leaked, but not officially, that they're just not going to do it. They probably have a second trailer somewhere.
I don't think we're going to get one.
I don't think we're going to get one either.
Yeah. Speaking of, well, with that in mind, the Morbius 2 trailer dropped, which is it looks awesome. But with the letdown...
Sony spent all their money on visual effects instead of story writing.
With the giant fucking letdown of Venom 2, the
redeeming factor of Venom 2 was the end credit scene.
Yeah, but like...
That,
come on.
No, that was supposed to be an insult to Sony. Okay. Like, that should not have been the redeeming factor.
Yeah, it should have just been a good movie. And, like, I have zero faith in Morbius being any good based on... Because I didn't even like the first Venom movie. I thought it was dumb. And everyone was like, it's so good. And I was like, it fucking wasn't.
It was fine.
And then the second one came out, and
I was so excited for the second one.
I didn't even want to see the second one.
I wanted to because I love Andy Serkis.
Until I heard what the end credit scene was supposed to be, which was Tom Holland as Spider-Man. And I was like, okay, fine. I'm going to watch this movie in hopes that this is going somewhere. It was... Not only was it like one of the shittiest movies, like, probably ever, but
it looked good.
Yeah, it did look good.
Yeah.
But they give you this Tom Holland at the end, Spider-Man, and you're like, oh, fuck yeah. But here's the problem is, who's going to have control? Because, like, I'm excited about this, for sure. I would love to see Tom Hardy's Venom go up against Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
Because Tom Hardy's Venom looks good.
But Tom Holland's Spider-Man, Tom Holland's contract is up after
No Way Home.
No Way Home. So if Sony's taking creative control after No Way Home,
they're not.
It's over. It's all over. I'm sorry, Tom Holland. I love you. You're a fantastic Spider-Man, but your fucking Spider-Man career
and a great actor.
But... Yeah, for sure. But I'm just saying, your career as Spider-Man is going to go down the shitter if Sony's taking over. If Marvel if they can make some sort of deal where Disney is still running things, and then I have high hopes for this.
Even if they they don't have to make as high of a percentage off of everything, because they're still going to make a fuck ton of money. But as long as they're in creative control of the Spider-Verse, what? But if they're in control of it, like, I have hope.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, like
if Sony takes control, it's gonna be garbage.
It's gonna go downhill so fast, and they're gonna have to fucking reboot it, or basically cast Tom Holland for like a quarter of a movie just to introduce Miles,
and I would
then
hope that he would just say no to that. Honestly,
well, if the MCU is doing it just to kill him off and bring in,
I'm saying if
Miles.
Sony is like taking creative control, I would hope that Tom Holland would say no.
I would hope so too.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't look great, which is really unfortunate.
And point being, I want Morbius to be amazing. And leading into our next point, Morbius looks so good. It does. It looks good. I love Jared Leto. I think I'm not a huge 30 Seconds to Mars fan. I think he's always been a better actor than he has been artist. I'm sorry if that upsets some people.
But I've also enjoyed 30 Seconds to Mars. So if he's
Yeah,
a better
there's
actor,
some songs I like, but yeah, he is a phenomenal actor. He's so good. And I want this movie to be really, really good. I really want it, but Sony just sucks dicks at making movies. And
well, they're trying to do the whole Marvel universe featuring Spider-Man characters.
yeah,
The
because
MUFSMC, like,
because they show Toombs. What's his first
Michael
name?
Keaton, Adrian
Yeah,
Toomes.
Adrian Toombs, Michael Keaton's character as Vulture in the trailer for this movie, but also they mentioned Venom in this movie as well. But like Venom,
But then they also show like a poster of Spider-Man, and it is very much Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man.
No. Maguire. Tobey
Is it
Maguire
Maguire?
Spider-Man. Yeah.
Because it's got like because it's got the white over the eyes.
And it's also got like
the actual ribbon.
Expand paint of the webs.
You're right. You're right.
You're right. But yeah, we got different.
Where does this exist?
It's got to make sense, because if Disney is
I'm hoping
involved,
that like the poster that they show in the trailer for Spider-Man is just like a marketing thing of being like, oh, we're gonna like replace this with a different Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Because it also says murderer across it, so like that relates to like
that's the huge
Tom
part
Holland.
Holland, yeah.
But like,
I don't know. We don't know. But I know that right now Disney is involved with this. So I'm hoping, like it's gonna make sense. But right now we don't know what fucking, where does Morbius exist? Is he in Tom Holland's Spider-Man, which would be,
awesome,
or are we in Venom's Spider-Verse, which has only just now became part of, or are we in?
They also reference San Francisco in the trailer, which would be Venom.
Yeah. Well, and not only that, but then Morbius says, when a guy like pulls a gun on him, he goes, "Who are you?" And he goes, "I'm Venom." Just kidding. I'm Michael Morbius. It was like, wait, what reality are you from? I don't understand.
The answer is yes.
Yeah, what is the joke?
All of the above.
What is it? It's oh God. What do you tell a tailor when you... I lost it. Don't. It's something about... It's from a movie where he's like, what do you tell a tailor when you have two dicks? And the tailor says, do you dress to the right or the left? And you just say yes.
Gross, but yes.
Anyways, I think this movie's going to be garbage. Hopefully it's not. I love Jared
I don't
Leto.
have a lot of high hopes for the story. Morbius as the living vampire looks incredible. We get a better look at him in the second trailer.
Yeah.
Looks fantastic.
I thought the flying scene in front of the train looked kind of dumb, but...
Yeah, I mean, it looks like, Quidditch. But, I mean, Venom also visually... Both movies from Venom were visually great. Yeah. It's just that the story lacked, and I'm afraid that that's what this is going to be also.
Absolutely.
If it's going to be set primarily in the Sony universe for Marvel characters and Spider-Man friends and things like that. The SUSPM CCYYL ULOYYC.
We gotta move on.
Absolutely. But before we do that, we should talk about our second sponsor, Jake.
Yes. Our second sponsor is Crybaby Craig's Hot Sauce. It's
Sorry.
Pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes on practically anything. Please listen up for a little bit here and we'll tell you more about it.
Hey, you nerds. Do you love spice? Supporting small businesses? What about enhancing the flavor of your favorite foods? If you said yes to any of those, our good friends over at Crybaby Craig's have the perfect solution for you. Crybaby Craig's is a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes perfectly with your favorite foods, adding the perfect amount of spice and enhancing the flavor of everything it touches. Started in Minneapolis by Craig back in 2012, Crybaby Craig's has become a Minneapolis and Minnesota staple in the sauce world. So head over to crybabycraigs.com and order yours today.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. Now we want to really just take some time to dive into Marvel's The Eternals, which came out this past weekend.
Yeah.
First
and foremost,
spoiler alert. If you have not seen it yet, please pause.
Tune back in.
With that being said, absolutely loved it.
Yeah, this movie was fantastic.
But it's us, so we're gonna find shit. We're gonna find stuff to shit on. We're not gonna find shit to shit on because that creates more shit. This ain't.
But then after we're done shitting on it, we're gonna, clean up the shit and tell you how great the movie was. So
yeah,
we're
gonna rub a puppy's nose in it and be like, no, and then we're gonna tell you how great it is.
Yeah, we loved this movie. I personally loved it. Oh my God, bro!
His dog just
Jesus Christ!
Go rub her nose in the shit and then just add more shit to it. Because that's what we're gonna do.
What the hell, dude?
Well, stop giving her all the meat.
The same food every day.
It's all the meat that you eat and you give her.
Don't give her meat. Ew.
He does. Oh, honestly, it's probably those raw treats that I sent you. Whoops.
I mean, she hasn't had one in like a couple days.
Oh.
I don't know what the hell that was.
You only give her those as like a ceremonial treat when I'm talking to you.
God damn.
Like, hey, remember those things you sent her?
Something about...
Dude, dog farts are the worst. But yeah, we're going to talk about the Eternals.
Let's start with the bad shit.
Yeah, let's start with the things that we did not love. Which are, in the grand scheme of things, I mean, this is almost a 3-hour movie. First off, the right move. A 2-hour movie is too short. Yeah. Like, make it into 2-hour-long episodes. Cool. Call it a mini-series. I'm okay with that. Fantastic. But there's a few things about this movie that just don't sit right.
Can I start?
Please do. Please do. You have so many. You have a few more things. We agreed on some of them, but you're more passionate about the things that you did not enjoy.
Yeah, Chad and I talk about these things before we record, and I fucking, again, spoiler alert. Tune out. Tune back in. 3, 2, 1. All right, you're fucked.
Stay fucked.
John Madden's character, Icarus.
Richard Madden.
Is it Richard Madden? John
it's
Madden.
Richard Madden.
Football.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Richard Madden.
And not
whatever.
Scottish.
He's
Welsh. Whatever.
His character is a fucking douchebag. He's the bad guy. Blah blah blah. I saw it coming from a mile away. But
it took me like a half mile.
His convictions in the movie are so strong that these people that he loves, the Eternals, that he's been in love with for thousands of years, not just like a couple of years.
The closest thing to family that he has,
Yeah, he's been in love with these people for thousands of years. his convictions in this movie to fucking kill everybody so that the emergence can happen or whatever is so strong that he not only kills somebody that he loves, he fucking is the directly like
responsible for
another
most
death.
of the bad shit.
And then tells all of them when they figure it out that he's like, I will kill every single fucking one of you to make sure that this happens. And then at the end of the movie, he just kind of goes to Cersei. Him and Cersei have been on and off for whatever
5,000 years.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm gonna fucking kill this bitch so this can happen. And then they do like a flashback montage, and it's like
to their like wedding and countless love encounters.
And he basically just goes, oh my god, I forgot that I love you. Fine, I won't kill everybody. Use me to save the world. And then they all save the world together. And it's just the fucking, like, are you fucking kidding me? It made me so mad.
To make it worse, the way that he's like, I'm going to create repentance for what I did.
Yeah.
He just yeets himself into the sun.
Something about Icarus flying too close to the sun and burned his wings.
Yeah, but that Icarus fell. This one was just like, nah, son, I'm going.
Yeah.
And when he says nah, son, it's S-U-N, as in like let's go, bish.
It was his character frustrated me because they just built him up as this like unstoppable fucking force to like make this thing happen, and he was willing to kill like all these people to do it, but then he just goes, well, actually I'm a bitch, and then like stops.
He's like,
and it was
well,
like, what?
I love you and you're my main opponent, so like I'm good, I'll just die.
That fucking made me so mad. It made me so mad.
See, what was great was
he did this. For those of you who can't see, I threw my hands in the air. But literally, when I watched the movie and he did that, I just went, what?
See, what was awesome was like a few minutes before that, like he was like shackled, like he was bested. Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh, this is going to be great. He's going to like see it all fail.
Yeah.
And then he's like, nah, I win. And like broke free and like raced to like be the main antagonist. And it was like, but we're married. And then it was like, no, I'll just fuck off. And it was like super anticlimactic. It was so frustrating.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, go for it. Say what you want to say. Because
I did this one.
Well, but I thought you were going to say. Oh, you were going to move on. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, y'all. Y'all. But also like in this movie, like especially in the trailers, they made so much about the deviants.
They had no
it was a time
point.
Filler.
They didn't. They made sense, but they didn't fucking serve a purpose for this film.
Other than literally, they only paid homage to like.
It should have been like a
comics fans.
It should have been like a fucking flashback. Literally, the deviants were made to go to a planet and kill off any predators so that planet's humanoid species could thrive. That was their sole purpose. But in this movie, and for this movie, they just served no fucking purpose whatsoever. It made me so fucking mad. I'm getting mad.
No, I completely agree because in the comics, Thanos was a deviant because the deviants was like a mutated race of the Eternals created by the Celestials.
Yeah.
so like the deviants played their role as being like the opposition to the Eternals, which I guess technically in this film they were, except for the fact that like these Eternals were like, oh, there's a bigger bad, because there's always a bigger fish, right? We learned that in kindergarten. But in the comics, like Thanos carries the deviant gene, and these deviants looked wildly and vastly different from Thanos and from
they were
the
like
Eternals.
creatures.
Also, they're like monsters, except for like one that like mutated throughout the film to like be slightly humanoid, and then he just gets redshirted.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, hey, Captain Kirk, I put on my red shirt, let's go. And he's like, hey, you're the first to die. And then that's what happened. It was just... The deviants served as, like,
a filler.
A plot that went nowhere. Like you said, they're filler.
They're a filler. They needed...
It made sense for comic fans.
We made this amazing movie, which it was an amazing movie.
Oh, it was great.
But if the deviants weren't there for a lot of the movie, there would have just been like talking and like set up.
It would have been a 2-hour movie.
So they were like, let's add this shit in to make it like fucking exciting and fucking captivating. But it was dumb. It was so dumb. The deviants did not need to be in the movie whatsoever. It was dumb. Sorry. Was it Zoe Chow?
Chloe
Zhao. Chloe Zhao. Oh yeah, it was close. I just fucking
just that flip shit. And flop.
Yeah.
The cinematography.
Amazing. Yeah,
and we'll get
a great movie
to that. It was. I
the
did
deviants were stupid.
Love this movie.
Yeah.
Kingo.
Okay, so here's the thing.
I'm gonna let you take this one, Kingo.
All right, here's the thing. I'm half Indian, and I love that. But we talked about this months ago. I was like, when we heard about the release of this movie, I was like, on the podcast, this is documented. I was like, there's supposed to be this huge like Bollywood number in this movie. I'm super excited to see it. It was the most garbage Bollywood fucking... It was the most Hollywood...
There we go. Yeah.
It was the most Hollywood Bollywood scene I've ever seen in my entire life. I grew up on Bollywood movies. There was nothing Bollywood about this fucking scene in this movie. It was the most American fucking made wannabe Bollywood.
And it was... Like, if that's the case, fine. But it was, like, sold and promoted to, like...
Yeah.
Not... This sounds super shallow, but, like, to that demographic.
Yeah.
As, like, there's a big Bollywood scene. Yeah. And it was...
It wasn't big. And it wasn't Bollywood.
And it lasted, like,
maybe like
2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And
it was I'm a little disappointed in I love Kumail Nanjiani. I love him. He's so funny. I love his movies. I love his stand up.
And I was so stoked about this. Super buff for this movie, and he's like, there's still a Bollywood scene. We're like, fuck.
But it was literally like the most like
the nicest way to put it is how you said it. It was the most Hollywood Bollywood.
Yeah, it just was not great. Scene. And then leading into his character, we might as well just go into that now since we're already talking about him. But his character, he was the comic relief, which fine, whatever.
He's hilarious.
Yeah. But
and even in the movie, he's hilarious.
But he just didn't do anything. He helped for a while, but then
he had one of the coolest powers, though.
Yeah, and like, then when shit got real, and they were like, "Hey, like, we actually have to save the world," he was like, "Nah, I'm good," and like that was it. He didn't come back. He wasn't like.
He was like, "I completely agree with."
Yeah, he's like the
genocidal dude.
End. Yeah, I'm gonna leave.
So I'm just gonna bounce because, like, if I didn't, you guys would just have to fight me too. At least he was honest.
Yeah, but it was
so
just
there's
like
that.
It was dumb.
It was not great. In a very disappointing way. I mean, like, I was stoked to see this. Like, I was stoked to see, like, the Bollywood scene. I was also stoked to see, well, you also hyped it up, but, like...
I hyped it up, but they hyped me up. That's not a fair way to say it. I hyped it up because they hyped me up.
Yeah, and for all of you listeners, all, like, 12 of you, just kidding, there's more than that. There's more than that. I'm just playing it down because... Like, we were very excited to see this scene, and it was not. It was, like Jake said, it was a very Hollywood interpretation.
Yeah.
Which we figured that there would have been some Hollywood aspects, but like the rest of this movie, as we'll touch on, was fantastic.
Yeah.
When it comes to like
they just missed
cultural things and
there was a lot of
we'll get to that. Not to cut you off, but
we're still talking about shit that we didn't like about this movie.
Yeah, we're getting
that was a big one for me. I'm sorry, and that's just whatever.
But also like another one of the Eternals, Sprite. You started off loving her.
I don't know.
Well, I started off loving her because it's like
she was like a cute little kid.
Yeah, she's like perpetually a teenager.
But she's not actually a kid.
Not actually. She's the same age as all the other ones, but like the body that she has is she's a sprite. For those of you that don't know what a sprite is, it's, you know, like a full-grown entity, but like in a childish body. Fantastic though, like sarcastic, super hilarious. I thought that honestly, like Kumail Nanjiani was supposed to be like the comic relief. I thought that she was hilarious because she plays a teenager and she's like, fuck everybody, and she like creates illusions, she disappears, like it's great, and they make comments throughout the movie about her character that are hilarious.
But she's a little bitch.
And they even make the reference is she's Tinkerbell.
Yeah.
You know,
a little bitch.
She's the little fairy that's in love with
Peter Pan.
The Peter Pan, the boy that never grows old, but like is
being Icarus.
The true to like his convictions, the Peter Pan aspect of never growing old, but in this film it's genocide. I feel bad for making like a joke about that.
No.
But like she's just so true to like supporting this person that she's like fantasized about being like the hero, the person that she loves. And she's funny throughout, but like
she's pretty cunty.
Yeah.
She's cunty.
Yeah, it's not great. And the way that they like resolve her conflict is that she has to go to high school.
Well, no. Say what happened.
Well, so Icarus is like, hey, by the way, I'm a douchebag. and I'm going to kill you all if you try and stop me. And then he leaves. And then she's like, I'm going with him. And then, like, a fight breaks out. And she's, like, nowhere to be seen at first because, like, she can't do
She's
much.
A bitch. Yeah.
And then she stabs Cersei literally in the back.
Yeah.
And then she gets hit in the head with a rock. And then,
by
like,
my favorite character in the movie.
Druig.
Yeah, he was the best.
He's pretty great.
He was my favorite character because he was the first person to be like, yo, everything that's happening right now is bullshit, and I'm gonna stop it. And this is like a flashback scene to like way back in the day.
Like Macedonia. Not Macedonia, but like the Mayans.
Yeah, there's like a war breaking out, and he's like, I could stop all of this. Because his power is that he can control people's minds. And they're like, no, you can't interfere. And he's like, he started crying because he's like, no, like they're killing each other.
Like,
I'm gonna stop this. And Icarus, who is like the bad guy, was like, gets in his face, and he's like, you're not doing this. And Druid is like, you're gonna have to kill me because I'm stopping this right now. And he was my favorite character in the movie. But anyways, continue on about Sprite being a bitch.
Yeah, and then so Sprite stabs Cersei, who she's been living with for the past, like, I don't know, 50 to 100 years, in the back, and then just was like, I'm so sorry. Sprite gets hit over the head with a rock by Druig, and then, man, what also bothered both Jake and I was that so Cersei can manipulate inanimate objects to like change their matter. So she like turns a sword into water, and then she's like, I'm fine. I'm not stabbed anymore. And like her wound just like disappears, right, Jake? Like,
but there was still a tear in her outfit. And then when you see her like later in the movie, the tear is gone.
It's gone.
It's just it's kind of dumb. I think, in my opinion, Sprite. So in the end of the movie, they basically, after Sprite stabs Cersei, they fucking basically Cersei like stops the emergence, blah blah blah, and she like. Sprite's big thing is that she's trapped in like a child's body, and Cersei's like, hey, I have enough power left over from the emergence that I can make you human, which means that you won't be an eternal anymore. You're gonna age and you're gonna die, blah blah blah.
Which is weird because also like the Eternals are like super robots, but like,
yeah. And she's like, okay, do it. And like in my head, I'm like, this little bitch stabbed me in the back. And she's not a little kid. That's the thing. It's a grown up like mindset in a little kid's body. So like, you stabbed me in the back. If I was Cersei, I would have changed that bitch human. And the second she turned human, I would have punched her right in the fucking forehead and just killed her. Fuck that bitch.
Just and then yeeted her to the great beyond.
Yeah, fuck her. You talk. I'm done.
No. You're very right.
I need a minute. You go. I'm getting amped up.
So, I mean, that happens. And then also, like, Sprite then complains, now that she's human, and that's all that she's ever wanted, is like, oh, but I have to go to school. And it's like, you're lucky you fucking bitch. Wanted this, and you wanted to, like, not die.
Yeah.
But beyond that, we also get to see Dane Whitman. For those of you that are not comic book fans, he's the Black Knight, or the descendant of the original Black Knight, which is Percival Whitman? Sir Percival. Basically from, like, Merlin's ward, King Arthur. We also see, like, Makari has just been collecting stuff over the ages. We'll get to that later because Makari is one of the greatest characters of this film. But she collected the original Excalibur, and when they first show the sword, people are like, "What is this?" And it's like, "That's the ebony sword. It's the ebony sword." And they're like, "No, it's Excalibur." And you're like, "Close, maybe." Which was also great. We'll get into that, but I mean,
I think we're done shitting on the movie. We're gonna talk about all the amazing things about this movie.
I do want to shit on the Dane Whitman story.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, I thought that this was gonna be the way that it ended after the post credit scenes, which we will get to. But throughout the movie, I was like, this dude is supposed to be really important. This is going to be, and we even kind of talked about it, like, this is, going to be like his origin story.
Mm-hmm.
And they cut it like a second short every single time.
Yeah.
It drove me absolutely fucking bonkers. Until the end credit scene, which we'll get to. But I was like, this guy is supposed to be so big, especially like moving forward, and they're like, you should know about my family. It's super bam, end of scene.
Yeah.
Or like,
yeah.
Hey, I got you this ring. It's your family crest. It's from bam, end of scene.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck. Like, sorry, I'm really worked out.
They're definitely edging us on this.
Yeah, like I almost came like several times.
But then it stopped you before you could. Yeah.
Thanks for explaining what edging was, Jake.
Well, there's kids on here. They might not know what that is.
For my mother that you're explaining what this is for. It's fine. I'm sorry, Mom.
I'm not sorry, Tracy.
But like Jake said, let's stop shitting on this movie. Let's talk about things that were absolutely phenomenal. Because the
bottom line is,
this movie was
loved
great.
This movie.
I cannot wait for the follow-ups.
Yeah.
I hope Chloe Zhao is a part of it. Directing, co-writing, just being a part of it. Because like the cinematography alone, and any scene that had an effect that did not require CGI was done without CGI.
Yeah.
It was
we also
good.
get the unofficial reunited that's not a word, the first one.
Keep going with it though. It sounds real.
We get a reunited Jon Snow and Robb Stark, and they're both in love with someone named Cersei. I thought that was hilarious.
Even though originally Jon Snow and Robb Stark wanted to kill a Cersei.
Yeah.
But
yeah. This is awesome.
This is awesome. It was a great Game of Thrones reunion.
The characters in this movie are fucking amazing.
Also, the fact that it's just shy of 3 hours. It's like 2 hours and 40 minutes.
37 minutes.
Yeah, 2 hours and 40 minutes, like I said. Sorry. For that, with 10 Eternals and Dane Whitman included, as well as, the Celestials and everything in that one deviant that kind of has a Bill Skarsgård-esque to him. Just kidding. That one deviant was Bill Skarsgård.
No, not Bill. It wasn't Bill.
Yeah, it was Bill Skarsgård, the one who played Pennywise.
No, it was not Bill.
I literally looked this up at the start of this episode. It's Bill Skarsgård. Yeah, look it up. Bill Skarsgård. He was the Pennywise. He plays Kor. Krokor. It's one of the two. Should we wait in silence while you look this up?
No, keep talking.
For everything that's there, for considering the fact that this is an origin story for 10 characters, minus the couple that died, and then adding Dane Whitman to it, like the character development of this movie is absolutely incredible. Bill Skarsgård, it's fine.
It's not.
I'm pretty sure that I have this pulled up. I do. It is Bill Skarsgård as Crow, K-R-O. I literally have IMDb pulled up. It's fine. You can be wrong. Sorry, guys. But like the cinematography, the visuals, just the overall framing of this entire film is just absolutely incredible, and just it's beautiful. It really is. We also, like I said, the character development, but also like the diversity of the characters, not just as like POCs, but also like for example, like Makari, who is played by Lauren Ridloff. Makari is a deaf character, and she uses sign language. But Lauren Ridloff is actually someone that uses sign language to communicate as an actress. She was in like The Walking Dead, incredible actress, and like a lot of the things that they mentioned as to how they like got around scenes that would have inhibited the fact that she is a deaf actress is absolutely incredible about this film. And like honestly, she's one of my favorite characters in the movie.
She is solid.
Also, like one of the most realistic versions of a quote unquote speedster.
She also put a solid beating on Icarus for a while.
Beat the living shit out of him. Like throughout their fight scenes against each other. There's a fight scene, then it kind of like nulls, and then another fight scene, and it's incredible. Also, and it's something that Jake and I have talked about behind the scenes, is like a realistic like speedster in any sort of like comic situation is, if they're running that fast, like throwing a punch is very damaging to the speedster.
They're not strong. Yeah.
Because their speed is what creates their strength. But like in this film, like she runs and she literally will like come to a stop like with a body check, and just let the force of the air like be the thing that hits people. And I thought that was so refreshing and just awesome to see, because it put a realistic spin on someone that can run and use speed to their advantage that made sense in a physical sense.
Yeah.
Also, like, this film has so many people of color in it that was
diversity
awesome. The diversity was great, and they played into it really well. Like, Jake, if you want to talk about that, like, well, I mean, we kind of shit on like the Bollywood scene, but like, I love as a whole,
yeah. But yeah, we got Indian, we got African American, Asian, Hispanic, homosexual. I don't. Did I say that okay? I don't know, gay, homosexual. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
just an LGBTQ representation, which was awesome.
Which is awesome because we haven't had that in the MCU so far.
It's only been like hinted, like with hinting at like Loki being bisexual, but like we actually get like Phastos has a family with
a husband and
with
a kid.
His husband.
Yeah, it was cool.
Ben and their son Jack, and it's like it did not shy away from any of that, which I think is incredibly important, especially moving forward. But like, it was wonderful to see because like a lot of things will like throw those elements in just to be like, hey, we're here.
Yeah.
But like this movie did it so well to where like it built up the characters in a very real way, and it was wonderful. Like I'm so happy with how this film turned out. I love this movie. Despite the things that we shit on it for. But it was so good.
There's also some setup stuff that I think is important to talk about. We think is important to talk about.
Yeah.
These sentients that are basically being war of the worlds into the planet, into other planets, like
celestial babies.
Yeah. We think it's a pretty solid setup for Galactus, who is a huge.
I think it's a great way to set up Galactus.
Yeah.
For the MCU.
Yeah.
It's a great way to kind of like manipulate his backstory. To make sense for what they're trying to do. Because like they even like called Ego the living planet, you know. Peter Quill's father in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, they called him a celestial. In the comics, he's not. But they still did it in a way that where it made sense. And I mean, we talked about this off camera, but yeah, they're setting it up to where it can make sense for Galactus to be.
I think the most of the MCU that we've seen so far has been on Earth, and I think with Fantastic Four coming soon and Adam Warlock and everything that's happening now, Thor, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, I think we are taking things into outer space rather than sticking around on Earth. I think it's gonna be pretty fucking cool. We also get 2 end credit scenes to this movie. Go ahead, my guy.
So for the first one, it shows, you know, like Makari, Thena, is it Drueg? Are the 3 that are on the Eternal ship. And we kind of get that, like, it's not quite the rainbow bridge that we see from Thor, but it resembles very much the transporter tractor beam that Thanos uses in the films. And we get the nicest way I can phrase or describe what Pip is, because that's the character's name, is he's a leprechaun. He's a drunk little leprechaun. Voiced by Patton Oswalt, which, if you guys know who Patton Oswalt is...
He's a drunk little leprechaun.
Yeah, and he's a giant nerd. He's a huge nerd for, like, comic book stuff. But so he voices... Patton Oswalt voices a little drunk leprechaun. But we do get to see Star Fox.
Yeah.
Which is Thanos'
brother. Yeah.
And he's played by Harry Styles. And it's a short little clip, but man, does Harry Styles look the part?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we also get reference to him being in like
an Eternal.
He's an Eternal, which means that Thanos was an Eternal. In the comics, Thanos was a deviant, like we mentioned earlier in the episode. But we get that sort of like retcon, which is great.
Yeah.
But it also sets up the future for the Eternals, which is gonna be good. I'm so excited.
We also, the second end credit scene, fucking goddamn it. It was so good. It was Dane Whitman, basically Jon Snow,
Kid Harington.
Hold on. Dane Whitman, aka Jon Snow, aka Dane Whitman,
aka who knows nothing.
Yeah. Basically about to touch the sword, which would turn him into
the Black Knight.
Black Knight, and
the ebony blade, which is much like.
And as he's reaching out to it, the sword is also like reaching out to him, and you hear a voice say, "Are you sure you're ready for that, Mr. Whitman?" And I myself and people in the theater thought that it was Sam Jackson's voice
Nick
saying
Fury.
this to him,
yeah.
But they do not show who it is. Chad, who the fuck was it? Come on, say faster. Say faster.
Mahershala Ali as Blade.
As fucking Blade, bro. Oh
He's been confirmed to be Blade.
And we've had confirmations that Blade will be in the Moon Knight series, and Dane Whitman's character will be involved somehow in the Moon Knight
to some degree.
Series. So the voice is not Sam Jackson. Why would they keep Sam Jackson off screen? We already know Sam Jackson for like 20 fucking years in the MCU. They wouldn't hide him like that. It's fucking Mahershala Ali as Blade, which is like 6 to midnight status. Like, and yeah. Do you see this? 6 midnight.
I really want to tell this story because when Jake and I were talking about this off screen, I was like, "Do you know whose voice that was?" And he's like, I thought it was like Samuel L. Jackson," and I was like, "Oh." That was my first thought, and then when I heard the voice, I was like, "No, that's not his voice." I was like, "But Dane Whitman is supposed to be in Moon Knight," so I was like, "Okay, cool. Maybe it's Oscar Isaac, but that's definitely not his voice." And then, it's been confirmed that was Mahershala Ali, and I told Jake, I was like, "No, that's Mahershala Ali as Blade," and then Jake just looked at me. He was like, "Oh," I was like, "Oh, you just went 6 to midnight," and he literally was like, "Bro, you don't even know I'm touching my wiener right now."
But I proved that we were FaceTiming, and I
he had
my phone.
He had his hand cupped over his wiener. It was clothed, so it was still technically PC. But yeah, this was such a huge thing because I didn't realize that was Mahershala Ali when I first saw it. I knew it wasn't Sam Jackson, and my first thought went to Oscar Isaac as Moon Knight, but it's like, that's not his voice. So, I had to do I had to look online. I'm not going to lie about that. I had to look online, and I was like, oh my fucking God, that's Mahershala Ali as Blade. It's like, that confirms so much of what we've seen online also is that, Blade is coming sooner than we thought.
Yeah.
Not his standalone film, but he's making an appearance much, much sooner than we thought.
I think a lot of people don't realize how big the the Disney Plus TV shows are gonna play into the movies. They like you have to watch the shows for the movies to make sense.
Yeah.
And vice versa. They're huge.
Yeah. But it's so great. Like it's just I'm so excited, man. Like I can't put words to it. Like I'm stoked. I can't wait to see how the story's going to unravel. It's just going to be so much bigger than like what a fanboy like us could like ever hope for.
Yeah.
With that being said,
guys, we've been talking for a long time.
We have gone a little bit over our normal time, but like this was a huge movie for the MCU, and it's gonna be great. So we're gonna go ahead and close out this episode.
But before we do, we just want to talk about our online stuff, and
yeah. So for those of you that have been listening for a while, you know that we have a Patreon page where we are starting to release unedited versions of our interviews. There'll be more coming up here in the next few weeks, which we're really excited about. But we'll be putting those up there as well as our web store. Right, Jake?
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry.
No, you're
I got a text message and I looked at it. My bad.
No, you're all good. So yeah, and then as well as our web store, which we're in the process of transitioning back to something that we have a lot more control of. It's not there yet, but if you go to the links in the show notes as well as like the bios of all of our social medias, you'll see how you can buy some of our awesome merch. Tonight we're actually not wearing any of our own merch, but there's a lot out there. A little bit of everything for a little bit of everyone.
There's like some crazy shit on there, guys.
There's some awesome stuff.
There's some shit that on there that you would be like, why the fuck did they have this on here?
Because someone will want that, you know?
Because fuck it, that's why.
And why not? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we've got all that on there, as well as, I mean, we do have a lot of awesome stuff coming up, a lot of great interviews.
Yeah.
With people that just do a little bit of, I don't know, all things nerdy.
Nerdy stuff, yeah.
Yeah. As well as next week, we will have Adam Reelman on the show, who is a sideshow performer for the Coney Island circus. I don't know if you want to call it a circus or not. We'll get that from him next week, but he's a sideshow performer out at Coney Island, and it's super excited to talk to him next week. But we got all that. Outside of that, I mean, we love you guys.
We love you guys.
We love you guys. Thank you so much for sticking around for 40 weeks.
Yeah.
And with that being said, I mean, this has been the All Things Nerd podcast.